The awakening Ryland Grace wakes up in a sterile, futuristic spacecraft, disoriented and weak. He discovers two desiccated corpses strapped into beds beside him. His memory is fragmented. He doesn't even remember his own name at first. He's hooked up to strange medical devices, slowly regaining strength. The sterile hum of the ship is his only companion. Slowly, he realizes he's utterly alone in space. The mission room Grace explores the ship, noting its advanced design and stockpiles of supplies. Screens and panels flicker with mission data he doesn't fully comprehend. A robotic assistant provides limited guidance, answering only what's programmed. His memory begins returning in flashes, teaching science in a classroom, then something much larger. His gut sinks as he realizes this is no ordinary mission. Flashback. The astrophage discovery on Earth. Years earlier, astronomers noticed the sun dimming inexplicably. Global panic mounted as projections revealed Earth facing a new ice age within decades. The culprit was identified, astrophage, a microscopic alien life form consuming solar energy. Nations raced to study it as society teetered on collapse. Grace, a reluctant academic, was pulled into the research. Recruitment of Ryland Grace. Dr. Eva Stratt, a no-nonsense project leader, recruited Grace despite his protests. He had written a controversial paper on life's adaptability, making him a reluctant candidate. Stratt's strong-armed him into consulting on astrophage biology, and despite his cynicism, Grace's breakthroughs in understanding its properties proved vital. Stratt's iron will drove the global Hail Mary mission forward. Grace became entangled deeper than he ever intended. Building the ship, humanity united resources to build a spacecraft capable of interstellar travel. It would head for Tau Ceti, the only star unaffected by astrophage infection. Stratt secured impossible amounts of funding and manpower, discarding bureaucracy in the name of survival. Weir Project Hail Mary became humanity's last shot at survival. Grace continued reluctantly, driven more by guilt than heroism. His doubts never silenced Stratt's unwavering certainty. Back in the present. Isolation in the present. Grace calculates his position millions of kilometers from Earth. His fragmented memory tortures him. He can't remember how he volunteered for this. Systems display his mission goal: study Tau Ceti's immunity to astrophage. Supplies suggest he's expected to survive years, but despair gnaws at him. He feels abandoned, an accidental survivor, not a hero. And strange signals. Grace notices strange readings on the ship's sensors. Anomalies suggest another vessel is nearby, something impossible. His curiosity outweighs his fear and he maneuvers closer. To his shock, he discovers a completely alien spacecraft in orbit near Tau Ceti. The realization slams into him. He is not alone in this system. He prepares for first contact. Meeting Rocky, Grace encounters Rocky, a spider-like alien engineer from the planet Arid. Their first interactions are cautious but filled with wonder. Communication begins through trial, error, and patience. Numbers, patterns, gestures. Eventually, they establish a rudimentary language. Grace learns that Rocky's world, Arid, faces the same astrophage crisis. Both are desperate for a solution. Building trust, Grace and Rocky spend weeks adapting their ships to dock together. Rocky shares advanced engineering, while Grace shares biology and chemistry knowledge. Slowly, they develop a bond, transcending their species' vast differences. Grace marvels at Rocky's perception of the world through sound instead of light. Their partnership blossoms into genuine friendship. The science partnership together, Grace and Rocky conduct experiments on samples of astrophage. They discover Tau Ceti's salvation lies in a predator organism. This tiny life form naturally kills astrophage. However, Tamoba is fragile and unstable in alien environments. To save both Earth and Arid, they must engineer a stable version that can survive. The clock ticks as their worlds face extinction. Flashback. Stratt's final push. Grace remembers more of his time on Earth. Stratt revealed the mission required a one-way trip, no return to Earth. He had refused, insisting he wasn't a hero. Stratt, ruthless as ever, overrode his decision. Grace had been sedated and sent anyway, chosen for his expertise and survivability. His resentment resurfaces, but now survival matters more than anger. Experiments and failures. Grace and Rocky test hundreds of Tamoba strains. Most fail catastrophically, dying instantly or mutating out of control. Rocky nearly loses hope, but Grace's persistence keeps them pushing forward. Their ship's resources dwindle, pressuring them to act quickly. Grace realizes his alien friend is as stubbornly hopeful as any human. Together, they inch closer to a breakthrough. Breakthrough at last, they develop a resilient strain of Tomoba. It survives in both Earth-like and Iridian conditions. Hope surges as they prepare to replicate the organism in vast numbers. Grace feels the weight of humanity and Arid resting on their tiny discovery. Their mission has gone from desperation to tangible victory. Both friends celebrate knowing the future has a chance. A deadly setback disaster strikes when one containment breach nearly destroys Grace's lab. A chain reaction threatens the ship, forcing Rocky to save Grace's life at the cost of his own safety. Rocky is gravely injured, leaving Grace torn between duty and loyalty. He wrestles with impossible choices: abandon his friend or jeopardize the mission. Humanity's survival suddenly feels hollow if it means betrayal. Ailing and sacrifice, Grace nurses Rocky back to health despite dwindling supplies. The experience deepens their friendship into unbreakable trust. Both admit they would rather die than let the other perish alone. Grace reflects on how his isolation has transformed into the most meaningful connection of his life. What began as despair has become a mission built on love and loyalty. Preparing for departure with Tomoba cultures secured, both prepare to return to their home systems. Rocky longs to save his people. Grace's heart aches for Earth. But calculations show a terrible truth: Grace doesn't have enough fuel to return home. Rocky insists on sharing fuel, but Arid is far closer, and he cannot risk his people. A painful choice looms. Grace's decision: Grace makes the ultimate sacrifice. He reroutes his course not back to Earth, but toward Arid to personally help Rocky's people. He knows he will never see Earth again. Memories of his students, his reluctant heroism, and Strat's manipulation all resurface. Yet now he finally acts by choice. For the first time, he embraces being humanity's accidental savior. Arrival at Arid, Grace and Rocky arrive in Arid's system, greeted by astonished alien fleets. The Iridians welcome Grace cautiously, marveling at this fragile human. Grace shares the Tomoba cure, instantly becoming a legend among Rocky's people. Though exhausted and broken, he finds peace in helping an entire world survive. His loneliness begins to fade among friends who see him as family. Epilogue: Earth's survival. Back on Earth, transmissions confirm the Tomoba solution has spread successfully. Humanity's collapse halts as the sun's energy stabilizes. Statues and tributes to Ryland Grace arise. Though Earth never knows his final fate, Strat reflects coldly but with pride: her gamble worked. The man who never wanted to be a hero became the one they'll remember forever. Closing scene: years later, Grace lives quietly among Rocky's people, teaching young Iridians science. His body weakens in their alien gravity, but his spirit thrives in Looking up at Arid's starry sky, he wonders about Earth, imagining its children playing under a bright sun. The film closes on Rocky and Grace side by side, two unlikely friends who saved two worlds. Humanity's Hail Mary succeeded.